Today we're going to be reviewing an airsoft pistol that you probably see every time that you go on the airsoft field, but the question is, well, are they any good? In today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the Elite Force 1911 TAC. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome back to the Baby Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time, both on and off the airsoft field through our educational content. And if you enjoy our videos, maybe you'll learn something new, consider hitting that subscribe button down below, and while you're at it, hit the bell icon next to it to get updated when we post new videos. Now, I felt that it was necessary to do a review of the 1911 TAC now in 2020, despite the fact that it's been out for over 5 years at this point. The reason why is that I feel like a lot of the initial reviews of this pistol are simply outdated and inaccurate at this point. Over the years, through the various generations that the 1911 from Elite Force has gone through, they've made improvements. They've taken customer feedback, and they've been able to make this pistol much better, and really, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're the same gun looking at the original Gen 1 versus the generation that they are on now. I think that it's just been leaps and bounds of improvement. Back then, I'd absolutely agree that it wasn't a good pistol, but nowadays, this is a really competitive pistol at a competitive price point as well. Now, the Elite Force 1911 comes in a couple of different flavors depending on what you're looking for. If you want something more modern with better features in it, you can get the 1911 TAC, which is the one that I see most players with out on the field, and the one we're going to be focusing on for today's video. But they also offer the 1911 A1, which is this gun here. It's more old school, more reminiscent of what you'd find for like a World War II 1911. However, these guns are the exact same internally. So you can swap parts, you could swap the frames, the slides, whatever it may be. They work off the same exact system, and these are OEM'd by KWC as well, which is important to mention when we talk about the reliability, the accuracy, and things like that later in the video. So on the 1911 TAC, let's talk about all the features that you're going to get, because it really has everything that you'd be looking for in your more modern designs. Even though this is a 100-plus-year-old pistol design, at this point they have modernized it fantastically. This is pretty similar to like you'd find on a Colt M45, which is the MEU 1911 that was adopted in the 90s and into the 2000s it was still used. So taking a look at what is offered on here, we're going to talk about the slide first. The first thing I want to mention is you have dot iron sights. This is such a welcomed improvement over the standard 1911 iron sights. These are what sold me on this pistol by itself. Going further along on the slide, you have forward and rear slide serrations. You just have rear serrations, which aren't as kind of deep and easy to grab on the A1. But again, if you're looking for that old school thing, it's still a great pistol. It works the exact same. Going down to the frame, you're going to have your standard magazine release, your slide release right down here. Again, pretty standard 1911 stuff. Moving to the back, you have a rounded hammer, extended beaver tail, so you don't catch yourself and get hammer bite. That would suck. You got these awesome grip frames, and then you've got a pistol lanyard at the back end, which is on the A1 as well. Overall, you've got a lot of the great features that you'd be looking for from your standard modern pistol. You know, the more modern designs from Glock or CZ, you have a lot of those features built right into this gun. Oh, and I almost forgot. You have an ambidextrous safety, which is extended on here compared to the A1 model, which really makes this a very capable pistol for left or right-handed shooters. Now, you know, when you're buying an airsoft gun, obviously what you care about is going to be the accuracy and the performance, because if it doesn't have that, nothing else matters. Well, this is the KWC system. The KWC 1911 is really just a workhorse. It's really, especially now that they've made all these improvements and all these upgrades to the gun, it's hard to break them. I wanted to specifically use this A1 in the video because I got this gun used. When I got this gun, I took the magazine out and dirt and pebbles came out of the frame. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? The slide was just not, it wasn't, wait, take the safety off. It wasn't racking the way that it should. It was all gritty. I was like, man, this gun is not gonna work. I took the slide off the frame. You know, I just kind of wiped it down with like a tissue or something, put it back together, works like a charm. Because these guns are admittedly very violent, they are a CO2 airsoft gun, they do not have green gas magazines, it's a very violent system that just kind of shakes loose any debris and it works fantastically. Again, they're just a workhorse. I've dropped these in mud. I've dropped them in like water after rain. They just kind of keep on going, which is one of the things that I think that they've really improved upon over the years, is kind of parts reliability, because again, they are very violent systems. All of your internal bits, you know, I abuse these guns. I use them a lot. They still work fantastically for me. So the quality over the years has gotten much better, and they're a very consistent pistol as well. So again, these are CO2 magazines, and the magazine is really the downfall of this design, in my opinion. Taking it out real quick, this is a 14 round magazine, which is a pretty small capacity compared to a lot of other airsoft pistols on the market, which is the biggest disadvantage for this pistol, in my opinion. 27 round extended mags are available, but those are going to extend out of the frame and they're a bigger profile. But they're something that I would highly recommend, especially if you want to use this airsoft gun as a primary weapon. It wouldn't be my first choice for that, but it's definitely doable. I've done it plenty of times where I've gone out only with one magazine in a speed loader and had some of the most fun I've ever had playing airsoft. This gun is incredibly consistent, which I was a little bit surprised by. Because it is such a violent system, it's CO2, I can easily get 4 or 5 magazines out of the single CO2 cartridges. Again, 12 gram CO2 cartridges, which are easily accessible. And for me personally, consistency is more important than gas capacity. I would much rather have a gun that shoots consistent every single time than have it hold a ton of gas. But this does both. I can hop 2 8s or 3 2s in this airsoft gun and still achieve 150 to almost 175 feet. That is all that I rely on my airsoft pistols to do. Anything more, I'm going to use my rifle. For the role that this gun is designed to fulfill, which is your sidearm, your close quarters gun, it works fantastically, and I would highly recommend it. The velocity on this, despite the fact that it is CO2, is still manageable. You're going to see anywhere from about 330 to 350 FPS with a .20 gram BB, which means that you can take this indoors. You're not going to have to worry about, you know, shooting way too hot like what happens with a lot of CO2 airsoft guns. Overall, it's just a good airsoft gun. You know, I've been thinking about this review for a while now. What am I going to say? I got to say something negative about it. And the only thing that comes to mind is the ammo capacity. It's just overall, it's a good gun that doesn't have anything, it doesn't have any like glaring problems except for the capacity. And the great thing about this, because this is an Elite Force product, not only do they have a warranty that comes with this gun, they have aftermarket part support available. So let's say something does break eventually. Elite Force sells rebuild kits for the magazines, they have barrel assemblies, they have frame assemblies. There's so many different parts that are readily available for this airsoft gun. You could replace almost everything. I think the only thing that they don't sell by itself is the frame, and I could be wrong about that. But if you've broken your frame, you're pretty helpless at that point. If anything does break, you're set. And I've had a lot of airsoft guns where they've broken, and I can't get some proprietary part, and the gun's worthless now. So that's just one thing that I always have to mention about Elite Force airsoft guns. It's something that I appreciate, that they have the aftermarket part support. And despite all this, despite the fact that it works well, that it's got a lot of great features on it, it's not expensive in the grand scheme of things. You can get these for about $130 or so, and I will have this linked down in the description below where you can pick up this airsoft gun from Fox Airsoft, the sponsor of today's video. They're just overall a good pistol, and there's a reason why you see so many people carrying them. I think that they're a great sidearm. Now, you're not going to turn this into a race gun or anything like that. It doesn't have the aftermarket part support for, you know, upgrades and things like that like a Tokyo Marui would have. But as, you know, a sidearm, if you're not the guy that's going to drop $1,000 on a pistol, but you still want something incredibly reliable, something that's going to withstand the test of time and has a good, enjoyable kick to it, I can't recommend anything besides the Elite Force 1911 TAC or the A1 model that I have here. If that's your thing, I just think that they're good airsoft guns in general, and it's hard to find bad things to say about them. But that's going to do it for today's review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to pick up this gun from Fox Airsoft, link in the description below. But what do you want to watch next? I would recommend watching this video I did a while back comparing the Elite Force 1911 TAC to the CZ-P09 by ASG. It was a really fun comparison to do because they're in a similar price point. And you might be surprised exactly how my results turned up. So you can click that video up here or over here, hit that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel, get updates when we post new videos, things like that. But my name is Lane from the Baby Warrior, taking a look at the Elite Force 1911 TAC, and I'll see you all next time.